Let's see. We got about another minute or two before I'm normally scheduled to go on. So I'm going to sit tight for a minute. It looks like we're live. I'll be back in 2 seconds. Mingle amongst yourselves. Look. All right. Let's see. Okay. Hello, everybody. So here we are. It is Time Out Tuesday. It is episode 54, and I'm coming to you live for 54 straight weeks now. And if you're watching me live, definitely you can throw a quick comment in, say hello. Sometimes I get to see them. If you throw some of that likes and heart stuff across the screen, sometimes I see that in real time too. It kind of depends on my software, which sometimes is a little bit funky. But in any case, did want to get started. So today I think I named this thing, "Oh, so you forgot," or "That's too bad," or something like that. I forget what I titled it. But what I wanted to do is kind of bring you a tip for how we hold our students, in particular the kids, accountable for things that they're learning and that they're expected to be able to recall over time. And it's a tactic that can really work for anything. It's really not just for martial arts. And it's something that I learned, I don't know, maybe more than 20 years ago when I started teaching kids a lot and spending a lot of time with kids, maybe even my own kids. I noticed that a knee-jerk response from kids when you ask them to show you something that they learned, not with all kids, but certainly many, is, "I don't know, I can't remember, I forgot." And they probably learn this behavior a whole bunch of different ways, and they probably learn that, one way to get out of doing something is to just say you don't remember it, because if you don't remember it, how can you do it? And if you're working with a teacher or an instructor or some kind of a mentor, then very often the mentor would say, "Oh, okay, well, let me just show that to you again." But I did start noticing a pattern where certain kids would learn something, maybe spend, a good portion of a class or even multiple classes learning something, and then almost immediately following, could be the next day, could be a couple of days later, they'd come back in and say, "Hey, show me that thing you were working on," and their immediate response was, "Oh, I can't remember any of it. I forgot it." And I started thinking a little bit about that and thinking about myself and, wondering, is that really likely? Is it possible that they completely forgot every single thing that they did over a 1-hour period yesterday? And I thought to myself, no, that's not really possible. Obviously, everything that I'm talking about here is somewhat conditional in that younger children might have I'll be more likely to forget something. Really little kids, 3 to 5-year-olds, of course, cannot be held to the same standard as a 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12-year-old kid. But and certainly we have children that we were aware have attention deficit disorders, or perhaps other issues really, could be on the autism spectrum, or, they may have other special needs. And certainly in cases like that, there might be some adjustments to this tip that I'm going to share with you in terms of how we hold them accountable. But on balance, when a child tells me that they can't remember something or they completely forgot it, and I believe, or one of the instructors at the school believe, that they probably should remember it, we don't immediately jump right back into, "Let me show it to you all over again." What we tend to do is say, "Well, you probably remember some of it, right? I mean, you can't have forgotten everything from yesterday. So let's say we taught you 20 moves yesterday. Can you remember any of those moves, maybe 1, 2 of them, maybe even moves that are not connected to one another? But maybe you can practice a couple of those moves and maybe something will click. Tell you what, I'm going to walk away for 5 minutes. Why don't you stay right here and see if you can figure out how to do 1 or 2 of those moves. I'll come back in a minute." Now, most of the time, I walk away, go to do something else, help another group out, but out of the corner of my eye, I keep an eye on them. And maybe for about 30, 40 seconds or so, they kind of stand still and don't do much, but that's pretty boring. And no one wants to be just standing in the middle of the room doing nothing. So before you know it, they start moving their hands a little bit, taking a couple of steps, And sure enough, you'll see 1, 2, or 3 of the moves starting to click back into place. And then when we circle back to that student, we get to say, hey, show me what you remembered. Oh, that's fantastic. I knew you'd remember it. I knew you couldn't have forgotten it. Let me help you fill in some of the gaps, and we can get you moving again. There are other cases where somebody really just is having, a total mind blank. They just really can't remember something. And in a case like that, if you really see them struggling to even get that first move off the ground, then what you want to do is you want to double back with them. You want to say, hey, tell you what, let me show you the first move, and let me show you this other very unusual move that will probably trigger some other memories for you. Show them those 2 moves. Walk away, and when you come back in a couple of minutes, sure enough, you're going to see the same thing again. And that's something that we do on a pretty regular basis to hold them accountable, that you can't just say you forgot and get taught again. The whole concept is, this is an age-old concept. This is the concept of, teach a man, give a man a fish he eats for a day, teach a man to fish he eats for a lifetime. We really want to teach these kids how to fish. We want to teach them how to be problem solvers. We want to teach them how to take a look at a situation, see if they can figure out how to piece together a solution before they immediately go to surrender and try to get taught the same thing that they learned yesterday, and we wind up in like a Groundhog's Day kind of thing where we're doing the same thing over and over again every single day and not seeing the progress. So this is one of the tactics that we use at the school. It's a great tip. I think you can apply this for other things at home, probably even homework-related things, memorizing multiplication tables, anything that somebody's struggling with that you really think that they probably have a slightly better handle on it than they're letting on to. So, hey, give it a try. That's the tip for Timeout Tuesday today. Hope you're having a fantastic week so far. It's freezing outside. Stay inside and make it a great day. I will see you at the dojo. Peace. And cut.